Hey guys, okay, so this last video is going to be for Windermere, Mount Pleasant, Old Trolley, and Clements Ferry. This is going to be every week on Monday or Tuesday at the latest. You need to go in and, for lack of a better word, pay Mike's store, the North Charleston store, for your inventory because you're buying all your inventory from North Charleston. So here's how you do that. First of all, I've found that Mike's side is almost always right. So what I do is go over to Mike's side, go over to the Charleston store, click on Charleston, and for Old Trolley, for North Charleston side, he's selling the stuff to Old Trolley. So we're going to click on Sales, and then we need to find the Old Trolley store because he sold the stuff to Old Trolley. You click on Customers, and click on No Bull, and then find the Old Trolley store. There it is. Click on the Old Trolley store. All right. Now we're going to go over here to Receive Payment. See, right now it's showing everything from Old Trolley. But if we go over here and click on Receive Payment, that's going to show only the invoices that the North Charleston store is showing that the Old Trolley store still owes it money for. So in this particular case, we're going to go over here and we're going to write down all these invoice numbers. Okay, these invoice numbers and the dollar amounts attributed to them. Okay, so we're going to write all those down. All right. Then after you write them down, you're going to just click on this thing. That's going to highlight all of these. And the reason you do that is so you can scroll up and see what is the total amount. Total amount is $4,559. $45.59. Okay, so North Charleston store is showing that Old Trolley owes it $4,559 for all of these things. Okay, great. So we're going to X out of that because we don't need that for now. Yes, we're going to leave without saving. Now we're going to go over to the Old Trolley store. So we're going to switch companies. Go over to Old Trolley. Now, Old Trolley is purchasing all of these items from North Charleston, so it's an expense. So you click on Expense. You then click on Vendor because you don't want to look at all of your expenses. You only want to look at the stuff you owe North Charleston for. So we're going to type in No Bull. I'll find No Bull Mattress Charleston. Okay. Now, first of all, we got a couple of things over here. They're saying copy to bill. Now, what that means is when somebody was at their store, they didn't, when you send over your purchase order to Mike, Mike receives the purchase order. He creates an invoice in his side, which is what we were just looking at over there, and then sends it over to you. When he sends it over to you, you need to take that invoice and you need to copy it to a bill. All right? So I can tell right now, well, first of all, fortunately, all of these, okay, do have the invoice number on it. Okay, with these guys over here, when you copy to bill, all right, you just click copy to bill, and then you put the bill number, or i.e. Mike's invoice number, right there. Now, I'm not going to bore you by doing that right this second. I'd have to put the camera down, blah, blah. So we're just going to skip that for right now. I'm just going to go ahead and copy it to bill and assume, I didn't, for example, I didn't write down the invoice numbers or the totals because I didn't want to put the camera down. So I'm just going to, I'm going to go ahead and save that. That one's just not going to have the bill number on it, which, isn't the worst thing that ever happened in the world. But, and then this other guy over here, we're going to go ahead and copy that to bill without the bill number on it. I'll go back and I'll make that adjustment in a minute, but I'm not going to do it for right now. So we're going to hit save and close there. Okay. So now we've got all of our things copied to bill. Okay. We don't have bill numbers for everything, but that's okay. So when after we've made sure that we've got that right, we're going to go ahead and click Make Payment on any one of these. Okay. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring up all the bills that Old Trolley is showing that it has due for North Charleston. Okay. So I'm going to make an educated guess. All right, so what we're going to do is, just for giggles, we're going to go ahead and click on this description thing that's going to light up all of these. All right, and it says Old Trolley is saying that it owes him, if you add all those up, $5,944 even. Mike's side was showing $4,559 even. Now, quickly, I'm going to go in here and see if any of these will make up that difference. The difference is 59.44, 59.44 minus 45.59. The difference is $1,385. Voila! Look at this right here. This one right here for $1,385 is the exact difference between what Mike is showing he owes and what North Charleston is showing Old Trolley owes, and what Old Trolley is showing that they owe. So if we take that one off, voila, it matches up identically with the 45.59. We're safe to assume that everything's okay. I would prefer to have bill numbers in over here. They're not right this second. No big deal. I can go back and I can add the bill number later. But for right now, we've got the dollar amount right. If you cannot get your dollar amounts to match up, all you got to do, for example, let's suppose you were hell-bent on making this work. You can call Mike, for example, and say, hey, I'm showing that I've got a bill due to you for $1,385. You don't have it in here. Why don't you have it in here? I need to pay you for this. We need to get to the bottom of it. Whatever's not matching up, just in the way we could have, if I had written down all of the invoice numbers and the dollar amounts, we could have gone in and matched up and said, oh, well, we know exactly this is the one that's missing. Okay. Then you call Mike and say, hey, I had a case yesterday where in Mount Pleasant, for example, or 2 days ago, there was two purchase orders that the Mount Pleasant store had that weren't in the North Charleston store, and there was one invoice that the North Charleston store had that wasn't in the Mount Pleasant. So there were three different things that were messed up there. And we went in and we figured it out. But bottom line is, if everything matches up, great. Go ahead and do the next step. If it doesn't match up, get it to match up. And once it does, okay, in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pay these 5 invoices. Okay, I'm going to assume this $1,385 thing is something that Mike just hadn't got to yet, blah, blah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, all of these match up with everything that was on the North Charleston side. So I've got them all highlighted. Okay, I'm going to come up here, and rather than it's not going to be a check. Okay, so if we just hit save and new right now, or save and close right now, QuickBooks is expecting check number 1050 in the amount of $4,559 to come through the Wells Fargo account. That's not accurate. It is going into the Wells Fargo account. You want to check and make sure that that's correct. It is the right dollar amount, but what this is, it's a transfer. So we're going to highlight that, and I'm going to type in transfer. Okay, so it's a transfer. Now it's expecting a transfer for $45.59 through the Wells Fargo account, made out to North Charleston, so you know everything is golden. So we're going to go down here, we're going to hit save and close. All right, so Old Trolley is expecting a check to come, or I'm sorry, expecting a transfer to come through for that amount. You can always check it to make sure it's there by clicking on the banking, going over here and clicking on go to register right over here on the right hand side. Click go to register and look at the top line. Beautiful. Today's date, expecting a transfer to the Wells Fargo checking account for $4,559. Now, I'm going to do that here in about 20 minutes, and when it does, tomorrow, the feed is going to come through with a nice, pretty match over there because we've done this right. Okay, so everything's golden on the Old Trolley side. Now, the last step is you got to go over to North Charleston, switch companies, go over to Charleston. And again, this for Charleston sold this stuff to Old Trolley. So we're going to click on sales. We're going to type in no bull, mattress Old Trolley. Okay, So now it's pulling up only the stuff for Old Trolley, not the sales to everybody. Click on any of these receive payments over here. That will pull up only the invoices that North Charleston is showing that they still owe them for. I'm going to go ahead and click that. That's going to light up all of them. And it totaled $45.59, just like it's supposed to. These have to match identically. If they don't, it's not going to match up on the back side. I'm going to find out about it, and we're going to be going through all this stuff again. So the last thing that you got to make sure is your payment method is a transfer. Okay? It's not a check, it's a transfer. So you type in transfer. There it is right there. So the North Charleston store is expecting a payment for $4,559 from Old Trolley on this date in the form of a transfer to the Wells Fargo North Charleston account for all of these invoices. And it matched up identically with what Old Trolley was saying. So you go ahead and hit save and close. Now tomorrow, we're going to have a nice, beautiful match for both Charleston and Old Trolley in the amount of $4,559 for the transfer that I'm getting ready to do right now. Beautiful. Everything worked out. But when it doesn't work out, you just call Mike and say, hey, man, I'm showing this invoice isn't right, blah, blah, blah. The dollar amounts are incorrect, so on and so forth. And there's ways that you can figure it out on your own. But it's always a good idea to pick up the phone, call Mike. You can probably figure it out on your own, but if you can't, get him involved. Usually, if the dollar amounts are incorrect, it's because you neglected to remember that when it's a -1, when you're getting a -1 of something. Actually, that's a really good point. Whenever you get your invoices from North Charleston, look at the invoice. Make sure that the dollar amount matches up with the dollar amount when you go to copy to bill. Don't just copy stuff to bill and not look at the dollar amount. The dollar amount has to match up exactly. If it doesn't match up exactly, it ain't gonna work. So address the problem on the front end, then you won't have problems on the back end. You'll usually figure out that you neglected to put a -1 when they return something, or something like that. Also, do yourself a favor. Make sure that the right item is in there. Some of our items have the same price. And very, 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 very rarely, the North Charleston store will put in something that matches up price-wise, but the actual item doesn't match up, and that throws off your inventory. Anyway, hope this helps. By all means, whenever you can't figure something out, just pick up the phone, give Mike a call, give me a call, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Thanks, guys.